I found a second staircase in my apartment building, and according to the landlord, it doesn't exist. I moved into the building 3 months ago. Old place, 6 floors, no elevator, the kind of apartment where everything smells like dust and wet wood. Cheap rent, no questions asked. That should have been the warning. At first, nothing felt wrong. Just quiet. Too quiet. The tenants barely spoke. Most of them looked exhausted, like they hadn't slept properly in years. Especially the people on the 5th floor. Every time I passed them, they stared too long. Not angry, not afraid, just concerned, like they knew something I didn't. Apartment 54 was mine. Top floor. End of the hallway. No neighbors on either side. The landlord said the room used to belong to an old man who died in his sleep. Natural causes. That's what he said. I didn't care. I just needed a place to stay. The first strange thing happened on the 4th night. I came home late, around 1 a.m. The hallway lights were flickering again, and that's when I noticed it. Another staircase, at the far end of the hallway, past my apartment. I stopped walking, because that staircase wasn't there before. I was sure of it. The building only had one staircase, right beside the entrance. I used it every single day. But now, there was another one. Old wooden steps leading upward into darkness. No signs, no lights, just shadows. At first, I thought maybe I'd never noticed it before. Maybe I was tired. Maybe I was losing track of things. But something about it felt wrong. The air around it felt colder, heavy, and there was a smell, like mold, wet dirt, something rotten. I should have ignored it. Instead, I walked closer. The deeper I moved into the hallway, the quieter everything became. No pipes, no wind, no city noise, nothing. Just silence. The staircase looked ancient, older than the building itself. The wood was dark, almost black, and scratched into the wall beside the first step were numbers. 7. That made no sense. The building only had 6 floors. I remember laughing nervously, trying to calm myself down. Then I heard movement upstairs. A footstep. Slow. Heavy. Above me. I looked up the staircase. Nothing. Just darkness. Then another step. Closer. I backed away immediately. Went to my apartment. Locked the door. And somehow, I convinced myself to forget about it. Until the next morning. The staircase was gone. Just a wall. No doorway. No stairs. Nothing. I stood there for almost a full minute, touching the wall, trying to understand what I saw. Then, Mrs. Levin from apartment 51 appeared behind me. Old woman. Never smiled. She looked at the wall, then at me, and quietly asked, "You saw it, didn't you?" I felt my stomach drop. Before I could answer, she grabbed my wrist, hard. "If it appears again," she whispered, "do not go to the 7th floor." Then she walked away. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every little sound made me stare at the door. Every creak, every pipe, every shadow. At exactly 2:03 a.m., I heard it. Creaking wood. Outside my apartment. I opened the door slowly. The hallway lights were dead. Everything was dark, except for one thing: the staircase. Back again. And this time, there was light coming from above, dim yellow light, flickering softly, like candlelight. Then came the sound. Music. An old piano. Slow, out of tune. Playing somewhere upstairs. I don't know why, but I started walking toward it. One step, then another. The closer I got, the colder the hallway became. And then I noticed something strange. The staircase wasn't attached to the floor properly. It looked wrong, like it didn't belong inside reality. The edges blurred slightly when I stared too long, but the music kept playing, soft, inviting. I placed one foot on the first step. The wood groaned beneath me. Then another step, and another. The deeper I climbed, the darker the building became below me, until eventually I couldn't even see the 6th floor anymore. Only darkness beneath, and music above. Then I saw the sign. 7. Painted onto the wall, fresh, red. The 7th floor. I should have turned back. But the music stopped. And suddenly, I heard someone crying. A man. Quiet sobbing somewhere down the hallway. I stepped onto the floor. The hallway looked almost identical to mine. Same wallpaper, same lights, same doors. But everything was decayed, rotting. The ceiling sagged. Water dripped down the walls. And every apartment door was slightly open. Just enough for darkness to stare through. The crying continued. Apartment 74. Its door was open wider than the others. I walked toward it slowly, and the crying stopped. Dead silence. Then, a voice inside whispered, "Please don't leave me here." I froze. The voice sounded familiar. Too familiar. It sounded like me. I pushed the door open. The apartment was empty, except for one thing. A chair. Facing the corner. And sitting in the chair was a man. His back toward me. Shoulders shaking slightly. Still crying. I stepped closer. "Hey." The man stopped moving. Slowly. Very slowly. His head tilted sideways. Too far. Sideways. Bones cracked softly. And then he spoke. Without turning around. "You weren't supposed to come back." My blood went cold, because the voice was mine. Exactly mine. The man stood up slowly. And I saw his reflection first, in the broken TV screen beside him. His face, was my face. Older, paler, eyes sunken black, skin peeling around the mouth. And when he finally turned around, he smiled. "You stayed longer this time." I ran. Didn't think, didn't look back, just sprinted toward the staircase. Behind me, I heard doors opening. One by one. Creak. 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 Something was stepping into the hallway. Dozens of somethings. I reached the stairs and nearly fell. The lights above me started flickering violently. And then, the music started again, louder now, distorted. And I heard footsteps running behind me. Fast. Too fast. I jumped down the stairs, 2 at a time. But something felt wrong. The staircase kept going. Down. Far too long. There should have been 6 floors beneath me, but I kept descending. 8 floors. 9. 10. The hallway numbers changed. 11. 14. 19. I couldn't breathe anymore, and the footsteps behind me kept getting closer. Then suddenly, silence. I stopped moving. Everything became still. And from somewhere below, I heard a voice whisper, "Wrong way." Then a hand grabbed my ankle. Ice cold. I screamed and kicked backward. The hand vanished instantly. And suddenly, I was back on the 6th floor, collapsed in the hallway outside my apartment. The staircase was gone. Only the wall remained. I stayed awake until morning. At sunrise, I went downstairs and confronted the landlord. The moment I mentioned the 2nd staircase, his face changed. Not confusion, not surprise. Fear. Real fear. He locked the office door behind me, closed the blinds, then asked, "What floor did you reach?" I told him. The 7th, maybe lower. I wasn't sure. He stared at me for a long time, then quietly said, "The staircase appears when the building wants someone." I laughed, nervously, but he didn't. Then he told me the truth. The building burned down in 1974. Most tenants escaped, some didn't. But after the fire, survivors reported seeing people who shouldn't exist anymore. People standing in hallways, inside apartments, behind doors. And every few years, someone disappears. Always after seeing the staircase. I asked him why he didn't warn me, and he answered immediately, "Because people who know about it start hearing the music." That night, I heard it again. Soft piano notes, coming from behind my bedroom wall. And this time, something knocked from the other side. 3 slow knocks. Then my own voice whispered, "Please let me back in."